Hello and welcome to an AIC video. So today we have my old work laptop. It is a Dell Latitude 5420, and I have been using this laptop for 3 years. But when I say I've been using this laptop, I haven't actually been using this laptop. While it has been my work laptop, my work issued laptop, so I'm actually going to be sending this back to my work here after I do this video, because it's not mine. I got to send it to them because they did replace me with a new Dell laptop. While it has been the computer I've technically been using, I haven't been using this computer directly. What I've done is I've remoted into this computer from any and every other computer I possibly could. This laptop is probably my least favorite computer I have been issued by any place I have worked at. Now, there are some good things about this laptop and some not so good things about this laptop. It does have, bring it up here real quick, an 11th gen Core i7. Core i7, pretty good processor. Unfortunately, and I'll show you this here in a moment, its performance is less than the same generation Ryzen 5 processor by quite a bit. This generation of Intel CPU is not known for its efficiency, its performance, battery life, things like that. And so the fact that it's a 11th gen Core i7 really wasn't that big a deal. The installed RAM, I did have 32 gigs in this. I did move that over to my new work laptop. So we only have 16 gigs in this system. I swapped RAM so I could keep my 32 gigs of RAM. That to me is more important than CPU performance because my job consists mostly of using web apps. So CPU performance is pretty low on my requirements, but memory utilization is pretty high in my workflow. So I definitely need that 32 gigs. I typically sit about 24 to 28 gigs of RAM used at any given time on my laptop. Why did I remote into this system? It's really not a great interface. The three most important parts of a laptop to me are the screen, the keyboard, and the trackpad. Trackpad on this is fine. It's really not that bad. If I had put a vinyl sticker on this, it kind of feels, it's so smooth it's sticky. If you run your finger across like really clean glass and you can kind of feel you have a little bit of traction on there, that's what this feels like. I don't believe it's a glass trackpad. I believe it's just plastic, at least based off the feel. Uh, but it almost has that kind of sticky, smooth feel, which I really don't like. But that you could easily be resolved by, again, a vinyl sticker that has a little bit of texture to it, which I do on a lot of my laptops anyways because I like that text, that feedback makes my brain happy. The keyboard on this is worse than a Play School toy. Like, it is one of the worst modern keyboards I have used on a laptop. The plastics of the keycaps literally feel like they come from Play School. Whatever plastic they use is incredibly cheap feeling. Now, again, I've barely used this thing, so it looks very almost new. But I have a feeling that if I were to have used this heavily at all, these keycaps would have worn quite significantly. The feel of them is pretty uneven, like the pressure it takes to activate them, very uneven across the keyboard. It almost feels like there's a wave in the keyboard, even though it's perfectly flush, right? Like there's no actual wave, but it feels like it when you're typing on it. Just that alone makes this laptop, for me at least, quite unusable. The screen is a touchscreen, which is nice if you're into that sort of thing. I'm not a big touchscreen person. I think I've mentioned that a few thousand times in my videos. But it is not a nice feature to have if you're into it. But the screen, and it's hard to see in this video, the screen's quite dim, and I do have it at its full brightness, but even when plugged in, it's not a very bright screen. I want to say it's only a 250 nit screen. Colors are good, viewing angles are great, but it's dim. And so when I go into work, where I Like in my home office, I can control the lighting pretty well, and it's not too bad in my home office. But when I have to actually go into my office, the floor I'm on has a lot of really bright fluorescence, and it's actually kind of hard to see this screen uh, in my actual office at work, which is really frustrating. And it means I have to plug it in and use the big screen I have, which is fine. But mostly when I go in the office, I'm there for meetings, so I'm sitting in a conference room, right, and trying to use this laptop. So the three main parts of this laptop, not a big fan of. It does have some nice features though, and some parts of it have held up significantly better than I expected. First of all, it does have the power button with the built-in fingerprint sensor. Now, my company disabled that, so I could never use it. So it was a feature that was there, but I could never use it. Same goes for if you look at the cameras. We have the infrared cameras here, and of course, I blocked off the main camera. Um, which for Windows Hello is really nice. That's actually a feature I would have really liked to have used. My company disabled it, so I couldn't use the feature I really like as far as being able to access my computer. Uh, it's a security thing, I get it, but man, I have a really like they force us to have a 64 character password, and typing that in over and over and over again really frustrating. Would have been nice to just open up my laptop and look at the screen and have it unlocked for me. Oh, the battery. The battery life on this sucker has actually been pretty good for an Intel laptop. Now, I have left this plugged in and powered on basically 24/7. Like, I set this power setting to never turn off if it's plugged in, because if I ever needed to. Oh, so I work in IT, I'm in management, and if I needed to get onto my work systems, I needed the computer to just be on. And because of the security stuff, the boot up time of this laptop, when now I've wiped it, so it's not bad now. With all the work crap I had on here, it was quite a significant amount of time. And there were times where, you know, that would have made a difference if I'd had to wait for it to boot up. So just always leaving it on, always being able to remote into it was important for me. And the battery is actually just fine. Normally, I would expect the battery to be trashed by the time I was done after 3 years of it basically being 100% on and plugged in all the time. And it's not. So, good job, Dell, on building a quality battery that still has plenty of life left after pretty, in my opinion, pretty significant abuse on my end. So, anyways, another thing that I'm not a huge fan of the laptop is this material. So I believe this is made out of a black plastic that's painted. And if you look here, where I've used my little fingernail, a pretty soft material, to open up the back cover along this edge, it is all chewed up. And it shouldn't be. Like, just make the plastic this color. Don't do black plastic and then paint it. Now, it might be cheaper, but it sure, again, this sat on a shelf. It did not move. If I've been using this every day, throwing it in a backpack, dragging it around office, this is just for opening it a couple of times. And this thing would have been just trashed, right? Like you can see more along this edge. And again, I'm not using any pry tools or anything. That's just for me using my, I don't have, I'm not Wolverine. I don't have claws. I just have normal fingernails. Could stand to be trimmed, but they're not even that long yet. So let's go ahead and open up, take a look at what we have going on the inside. All right, so we have this laptop open now. The screws are captive, which is nice. And I've always found that it's best to start here at the back once you've undone all your screws and just pull up on this back edge. And then it is clipped in the front end. So you kind of pull up and back a little bit to undo those clips. And taking a look on the inside, we do have two RAM slots, so you can upgrade to this pretty significantly if RAM is a big requirement for you. Like I said, I did have 32 gigs in here, but you could easily have as much as 64. We have an upgradable Wi-Fi adapter, which is not necessarily something that a lot of the laptops in this generation came with. Looking at you, ThinkPad T14 Intel. We have our SSD and our WAN slot. Now, I did not test to see if this is upgradable with another SSD. I simply don't have one that would fit in the slot right now, and I don't have the means to buy one right now. They're just too expensive. But it is not set up for WAN. We don't have the antennas that you would expect to have, even though we do have the SIM card reader. Our CPU, the fan is cleanable. I did clean the fan and repaste the CPU, just because, like I said, I did abuse this thing pretty hard, and that CPU thermal paste was pretty shot. So yeah, let's go ahead and put it back together. All right, so as we finish this up, I wanted to have this Dell sandwiched in between two contemporary systems. On the left, we have my HP EliteBook 845 Gen 8. On the right, the T14 Gen 2. These were all released about the same time, same year, and so they had the same generation, or at least competing generations of CPU. The two on the sides do happen to be AMDs, because in this generation, I personally prefer the AMD CPU, uh, because it does have, not to go too much into performance, but the AMD Ryzen 5 is faster significantly than the Intel i7. Uh, but the Intel i7 does have slightly better GPU than the, or iGPU than the AMDs. But if you are cross shopping these and are looking to see maybe what might fit your needs the best, leave me a comment down below. Ask me what question you might have. I'm happy to review them side by side. I own the two on either side. The one in the center one, like I said, I gotta send that one back here shortly. So get your questions in as soon as you can, and I will do my best to answer those. Put together a video for you um, with as many questions as you might have. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this. Obviously, I have some strong feelings about the Dell. That doesn't necessarily make it a bad laptop, especially depending on the price you pay for it. Like if I could keep this one and it was free, hands down, that would be the one I'd be keeping because it was free. The ThinkPads kind of carry a price premium. Now, I did only pay $50 for mine, but it was a parts only laptop, and I had to add some parts to it. The deal that I got was the HP over here on the left. I only paid like $125 for it, and it came with 16 gigs of RAM and a 256 gig SSD. And you know, it's been pretty well used by my kids. They use it to play Minecraft, so um, that's why it has this orange case on it, just because the kids are using it. So anyways, again, if you have any questions, leave those down in the comment section down below, and I will do my best to answer those in an upcoming video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day.